Hello everyone, my name is Cristina Vivas Peraza and I'm a PhD candidate at the University of Zaragoza in Spain. For my thesis, I focus on the science crowdfunding video. This is a digital genre for science communication that is gaining prominence online. And for this talk, I have analyzed the strategies used by scientists to build a credible and trustworthy persona in videos related to climate change campaigns. So first of all, what is a science crowdfunding video? These days, many scientists are resorting to crowdfunding to fund their research projects by collecting small donations from the public via the internet. And they do so through collaborative crowdfunding platforms such as experiment.com, where they can post a short video about 2 and 3 minutes long to promote their campaigns. And this is what I have called the science crowdfunding video. So the aim of this video is to convince the public to donate money for a scientific project or experiment. And to do that, scientists first need to show themselves credible and trustworthy. On the left side of this slide, there is an example of a video where the scientist in this case is launching a campaign for the conservation of the wolverine, which is an animal species from Alaska. Let me play it for a bit so you can have an idea of what this video looks like.
The wolverine is this incredible species that's really an icon of the North. But despite that, we really have a very limited understanding of what their habitat requirements are. And this is especially true on the Arctic tundra, where there's only been a single other attempt ever to study them. There are two things happening in the Arctic right now that could pose a threat to wolverines. And those are climate change and fossil fuel extraction. But since we don't really know what wolverines need, we have a very limited ability to say how much of a threat these things actually are.
Well, I'm going to stop it here. I can't play the whole video because I would be running out of time. But now you have a general idea of what this genre looks like. So with this study, I want to answer two main research questions. The first question is, what rhetorical strategies are used by scientists to build a credible and trustworthy scientific persona through science crowdfunding videos? And the second question asks, how are those rhetorical strategies manifested in visual and verbal modes of communication? To answer these questions, I have collected 10 videos from the platform experiment.com. related to successful campaigns of biology and ecology running from 2017 to 2021. These campaigns focused on scientific projects to try to protect animal and plant species from the effects of climate change. For this work, I'm combining three main theoretical approaches: genre theory from the ESP tradition, Aristotle's traditional rhetoric and the persuasive appeal of ethos, and the adoption of multimodal concepts. Let's see each of these in more detail. My main theoretical umbrella is genre theory, following the English for specific purposes tradition. In the ESP tradition, the goal of studying genres is to facilitate the teaching of academic and professional texts, digital or not, to novice researchers and non-native speakers of English. And I'm adopting this framework because one of the motivations for this study is to train scientists in producing crowdfunding videos for scientific projects. Therefore, following Swales, I'm adopting a communicative purpose-oriented approach because I'm showing that the rhetorical strategies used by scientists in these videos are motivated by its communicative purpose. This is, as I said before, to persuade the audience to donate money for a research project. On the other hand, given the persuasive nature of the genre, I want to observe the rhetorical strategies used by scientists to build a credible character through the well-known Aristotle's concept of ethos, which is an element of persuasive communication. According to Smith, effective communication has three elements, or what he calls the three C's: credibility, charisma, and control. Credibility has to do with showing expertise, honesty, competence. Charisma involves likability and attractiveness, and control refers to showing oneself as an authority in the field. And these are also three elements that scientists need to show to sound convincing and gain people's trust. Finally, I'm also adopting multimodal concepts to this research, since the science crowdfunding video is clearly a multimodal genre. And this means that communication is conveyed not only through language, but through a variety of other semiotic modes, such as image, music, or body language. On this note, I'm following Bateman's methodology for the study of genres in the context of multimodality, which indicates that for any rhetorical strategy found, we should consider which semiotic modes have been used to support it. So let's move on to the results of this study. To establish ethos in science crowdfunding videos, scientists used two main rhetorical strategies: strategies to show preparedness and strategies to show passion. Let's see how these strategies can be manifested into the semiotic modes of speech, writing, image, clothing, and facial expression. I'm going to illustrate some of these manifestations by using the example we have watched before. To show preparedness, the scientist in the example uses several semiotic modes. One of them is writing language. As you can see in the bottom left of the screen, he's showing his credentials by means of a lower third. This overlying text in black font states his name, his credentials, and also the institution he belongs to, the University of Alaska. You may also have noticed that he is not speaking from a conference room or the like. He's actually speaking from the setting that revolves around the research object in question. If you remember, he is studying the wolverine, an animal that lives in the Nordic tundra. And well, we don't know if he is exactly there, but the snowy forest in the background invites us to believe that this is the case. In the same way, the choice of outfit is not accidental. He's wearing the clothes that are expected to be worn by a scientist working in the field. We wouldn't expect him to wear a suit and a bow tie, for example, right? He's wearing winter hiking coats and a sheepskin cap, very convenient for working in the cold. In general, it's as if we imagine him investigating the habitat of the wolverine in that precise moment and stopping just 3 minutes to record this video. Therefore, he shows himself credible and therefore trustworthy. He also provides information about the wolverine, both in speech and in image. You can see an example here where he says, wolverines have a very close relationship with snow. They dig their reproductive dens in snow, blah, blah, blah. And at the same time, he's showing an image of the wolverine half buried in the snow. And later on, along the video, he also provides images of graphs about numerical data that he's addressing in that moment. By giving this information, he's also showing his knowledge about the research object, right? And later on, he also displays a video footage of baby wolverines interacting with their mom. This video footage here is especially interesting because it has been recorded with a special camera, suggesting that he uses such camera to do his research. And this also adds credibility about his preparedness and expertise as a scientist. Finally, the scientist shows himself as passionate about his research by smiling to the camera and including positive personal evaluations of the wolverine. As can be seen in the bubble, for instance, he evaluates the wolverine as an incredible species. So these are just some examples for you to see the preliminary results of research in progress. My contribution to the field is to explore new trends in science communication and research funding with a genre that, to the best of my knowledge, has never been documented before. I also want to show the potential of multimodal communication in engaging and persuading the audience. And at the same time, this study has a pedagogical potential in the sense that it can be useful to train scientists on how to communicate science in videos in ways that promote trust in science. To finish off, I would like to acknowledge that this is a contribution to the project Digital Genres and Open Science, which is funded by the Spanish Ministry of Science and Innovation. So these are the references that I have used along this presentation. And that's everything. I hope that you have found this preliminary analysis interesting. And if you have any questions, I will try to answer them to the best of my knowledge. Thank you very much for listening.